Anakin Beats.
Hello and welcome to Can't Smash, your unlicensed, unofficial PlayStation channel. As you guys know, I cannot wait for the Metal Gear Solid Remake, and honestly, I think it's been unbelievable and everything we need in the next gen Metal Gear. What I wanted to do was address some of the questions from my previous videos on this, and just talk through some of the finer details associated with the greatest game of all time that we need to ensure they get right with the remake. The first thing we need to discuss is the soundtrack. So one thing that was evidently missing from the Phantom Pain failure was the omitted Harry Gregson Williams soundtrack. The emotional punch and depth that he delivers is unbelievable, and honestly it makes the Metal Gear series what it is. In fact, a solid idea might be to retain the same soundtrack from the original. It still stands today, and it would both give fans the nostalgia factor as well as newbies the feel of depth and realism that the original brought to the game. Next up, let's discuss the size of the campaign and level redesign. Honestly, the original game felt epic in scale, and I really hope they can reproduce this on the PS5. I think it will need some clever scaling to make it feel this large again, or else run the risk of being a speedrunner's dream, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but all I'm saying is we need the game to try and hit that 20 hour for the campaign at least, which I know is a push from the original game, but let's try and bulk this game out. Moving on to voice actors. So I think this one needs to be kept incredibly simple. Use the original dialogue. It all still holds up today and would be so much cheaper than redoing anything. And even if they did decide to redo anything, we'd only ever accept the original talent to reprise their roles, if anything. So please don't even dare change it. Please, Bluepoint Studios, listen to us on this. Another point I want to touch on, because this was something called out a few times in the comments on previous videos, the codec. So I think this one is really straightforward, and it should be either the exact copy of what we got in Metal Gear Solid 1, which honestly I'd be fine with the retro vibe, or it should see the upgrade that we had in Metal Gear Solid 2. The one thing we definitely don't need is the cop-out codec that we got in the Phantom Pain, where it doesn't really exist and it's all during gameplay. We definitely need a screen for the codec, like we had in previous editions. I know it can be immersion breaking, but they're usually very informative, and Metal Gear just isn't Metal Gear without it. The only thing I'd say is just not to have them excessively used. I remember on the tanker mission in Metal Gear Solid 2, it was getting ridiculous, ringing every couple of minutes. But Bluepoint, let's try and avoid that and just keep the pace going, but make sure we maintain the integrity of the codec, please. It means a lot to us fans. So my penultimate point, let's talk about camera placement. Now, I think this is a contentious one, and I think people will have strong opinions on this, to say the least. Honestly, I do love the original overhead view we got, but honestly, I'm just thinking, should we keep this? It feels dated to me. At the same time, it means that we rely too much on the first-person shooting system introduced in Metal Gear Solid 2. I think a better idea might be to have the camera placed behind the player, although the challenge here is to maintain the integrity of the stealth action title we have, and not turn this into a third-person shooter like we saw Metal Gear Solid 4 and 5 fall victim to. I'm keen to hear what other people think about the camera placement though. This is a really interesting one, and honestly I don't have the answer, but I'd love to hear what everyone else has to say about this. Coming to my last point, and arguably the most iconic thing about Metal Gear Solid, is the cutscenes. Bluepoint, you're gonna have to redo the cutscenes to bring them up to date. But please, please, this isn't the Matrix. Snake isn't a gymnast. Let's leave the John Woo antics for the twin snakes and keep the action flowing, fast, and reminiscent of the original. Please don't go overboard and keep the essence of the original. Please just upgrade the graphics, just make it look better. Don't do anything else, please. So what do you guys think? If you made it this far in the video, I know you're likely a super fan like me, so let me know down in the comments what you think is essential to this remake. If you liked the video, then do drop a like, and if you really liked the video, just a reminder that I'm a super small channel. Most of YouTube doesn't even know I exist, man, come on. So hit that subscribe button, because we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. See ya!